Let me guess, you've done the Pinterest resets, tried that girl's 6 a.m. formula, you've downloaded the habit trackers, bought the planners, said this time I'll actually stick to it, and still you fall off. Still you're burnt out, still you're blaming yourself. But here's the truth, you don't need another morning routine. You need a system built around you. If that already hits, just know Rewired was built for this. I'll explain more later, but I just wanted to plant that seed. We chase the aesthetic, we obsess over planners, we convince ourselves that the perfect morning routine is the secret to finally getting your life together. But here's the truth, we don't actually want routines. We want peace, we want flow, stability. We want to feel in control, not just look like it. And no amount of copy-paste routines can give you that, because what you need isn't more structure, you need structure that's built around you. Copy-paste routines don't change your life. Systems built around your identity do. Pinterest routines versus real life. We're sold the idea that a perfect morning equals a perfect life, but real life derails by 9 a.m. You snooze your alarm, the same spiral starts, you miss one step, you throw the whole day away, you feel like if I'm not perfect, it's pointless. That's not a discipline issue, that's an all or nothing trap. This is the exact kind of shift we make inside the program Rewired. One of my students even saying that what stood out was the non-judgmental energy. I truly feel like I've been rewired to think more positively, manage my time better, and prioritize self-care. She didn't need another perfect plan. She needed a space where she could rebuild without shame, without pressure, and that's what we created inside Rewired. We don't just stick to habits, we rebuild the identity and systems beneath them so that consistency becomes something you feel and not force. Why surface fixes don't work. You can't build outer structure from inner chaos. If your mind is spinning, your nervous system is fried, and you don't trust yourself to show up. No routine is going to fix that. What sabotages us isn't the morning itself, it's unprocessed burnout, constant overstimulation, building habits from shame instead of self-worth. If you've been beating yourself up for not sticking to a routine, what if the problem wasn't you? It was that the routine was never built for you in the first place. The internet is obsessed with that girl routines and aesthetics and habit trackers. Millions of people keep trying them, getting burnt out and starting over and over and over. But it turns out the entire concept of routines is fundamentally flawed compared to what actually works. Ever notice how those perfect morning routines fall apart the moment life gets a little bit messy? That's because routines are rigid structures that can't bend when life throws you curveballs. They demand perfection when reality requires flexibility. But wait, what exactly is a system, and why would it work when all those pretty Pinterest routines failed you? How I went from Pinterest to peace was I used to think if I could just perfect my morning routine, everything else would fall into place. I made my juices, I journaled in 5 different notebooks, I had my affirmations, breathwork, to-do list, all of it color-coded, but under all that, I was tired. I was performing peace, but I wasn't living it. I burned out quickly, and during my yoga teacher training in India, it finally clicked. What if I'm not supposed to force structure? What if I'm meant to build it around who I actually am? And that's what changed everything. I stopped copying and started designing. I built systems based on my real energy, my nervous system, and my goals. And for the first time, consistency didn't feel like a punishment. It felt like peace. This only came from doing the real internal work of getting to really study myself. Feeling frustrated with your habit failures isn't a you problem, it's a flawed approach problem. Systems are like routine's smarter, more adaptable cousin who understands that life is unpredictable. They're designed specifically for your needs and preferences, not some random influencer's life. The best part, systems don't demand perfection. They're built to handle your messiest days and still keep you moving forward. Think about what would happen if you designed a framework that actually matched your life instead of fighting against it. Now we're getting somewhere interesting, aren't we? Systems thinking isn't just some productivity hack, it's potentially life-changing. When you shift from rigid routines to flexible systems, you dramatically reduce your daily stress levels. You stop beating yourself up for failing and start appreciating consistent progress no matter how small. This approach values what works for you specifically, your energy patterns, your real schedule, your actual life circumstances. Imagine a world where personal growth doesn't come with a side of guilt and burnout. What if consistency actually felt good instead of like another chore on your to-do list? Unlike rigid routines that eventually break, systems adapt to your life and make consistency automatic. That's why inside Rewired, we don't just build routines, we build from within. Here's the formula I use. Identity first. Who do I want to be and how does she live? Mindset second. What stories are stopping me from showing up? Systems third, what structure would actually support her? That's the difference between a routine and a rewiring. The world will sell you 1,000 ways to reset your morning, new journals, more habits, a better alarm clock. But if you've done it all and it still feels misaligned, maybe the issue isn't the routine. It's that you've been trying to perform peace instead of building it. You don't need another aesthetic routine. You need a system rooted in who you actually are. That's why I built Rewired, not as a quick fix, but as an exact framework I wish I had when I was stuck in the all or nothing cycle. It's a 6-week program to rebuild your mindset, habits, and system so you can finally stay consistent without forcing yourself. You'll get lifetime access to step-by-step guidance and a system that works with your life, not against it. If you're done with surface level resets and ready to build something real, tap the link below. You don't need another morning routine. You don't need another system. Let's build yours. Just remember to breathe deeply and live mindfully.